What's up, guys? It's your boy Troy. I hope you guys can see me. The sun is like running away right now, but I wanted to make this video real quick because I want to give you guys a heads up of this, what I call a scam going on in Santo Domingo. I know a lot of us experienced this thing going on with Uber, right? Uber in Santo Domingo, and I'm not saying the whole DR. I know in the last video people might have got it confused, like I was saying, like I was dealing with the whole DR, but I was just talking about Santo Domingo, right? Because it's a big city, it's full of people, and Uber just works, I don't know, differently in certain big cities. So I wanted to let you guys know about what to expect with Uber. So like I was saying in the other video, most of the times you get to a city, you order Uber, and it's 1, 2, 3, right? They just come and you just go. Most of the times you may not even end up talking to this person that you are getting picked up by. Just kind of autopilot. You get in the car, they drop you off. In Santo Domingo, it's a little different. You're gonna deal with a lot of let's just say Uber games. So I wanted to give you guys 3 ways that you can avoid this scam out in Santo Domingo. So let's get right to it. So first, guys, just to give you a rundown of kind of what to expect exactly. So most of the times you're gonna get a message from the driver. If you get a message from the driver, just know it's gonna be some games going on. He's probably gonna ask you "Así donde va," something like that, which means where are you going, or towards where you're going. And they already know this information. So when I first got that message, I was a little baffled. Like, you already have my information, like you know where I'm going, like it tells you in the app. But yeah, you're probably gonna get a message like that, and that's just to get you to respond, you know, get you chatting, and then they're probably gonna ask for cash. This is like the main thing they do, and this is not how Uber is supposed to operate. Obviously, you're supposed to accept the rate that they're giving you and then go whatever payment method that they put in there. But for Uber and DR, Santo Domingo, it's a little different. The Uber drivers here like to be super selective, and that's not to say people don't cherry pick in the US. I know a bunch of drivers in the US who cherry pick just like this, but there is a proper way to go about it, and not rating a customer and asking for higher prices or payment method in a certain way, or to go to certain parts. If that's the case, just cancel the trip. First way I'm gonna say how to avoid this is actually probably the hardest way, because a lot of people don't have this luxury, especially if you're a solo traveler. But always have 2 electronic devices with Uber on it, because I'm gonna tell you why. Uber drivers here, they're kind of in like a win-win position, because they write you and they'll just sit there. And I'm gonna put a video I'm gonna put a video in this video on how it looks. They write you, you don't agree with what they're saying, they'll just sit there. And let me just be clear, this is not just Santo Domingo. I dealt with this in multiple countries, but I'm just doing it now because I'm in Santo Domingo, and it's like the most prevalent here. So they'll write you, they don't like what you're saying, they'll just stand there. And you're at a disadvantage because your time is more valuable than their time in a sense, because you're on vacation. So most of the time you got several things planned. If you want to go to dinner by 8 o'clock, you don't have time to sit here and go back and forth with this guy. Most people just gonna accept what he says, like, all right, I want cash and I also want extra 200 peso. So you just be like, all right, whatever, just come. It's $4 American money, so just come. I'm not gonna say and argue with you. So that's how they have that advantage. And also, they don't like to cancel the trip themselves because it counts against their Uber rating. So what they will do is just sit there until you cancel it. So it's kind of like a game of chicken. And again, you don't have the luxury to beat them in this game, because if you have one phone, you're pretty much messed up, because then you're gonna have to wait until this dude cancels, and a lot of them are switching between apps and all of this stuff. So they have that advantage on hand. That's why I say the number 1 way to avoid this scam is keep 2 devices. While one is stuck on this dude who doesn't want to cancel and you don't want to cancel, use the other device to order the Uber. Or if you're with a friend, obviously a lot of times I do that with my boys when we travel. If one Uber is playing games, one of my friends will just order it and we'll go, and I'll leave that dude on the I'll leave that dude on my phone while we use the Uber on his, just so the guy will learn, like, you can't do this, and then he'll have to cancel it, and that way he doesn't get a waiting charge or anything. But again, that's another way that this scam is in their favor, because if you cancel, you're gonna get hit with a fee, right? So if you, like, let's say you're dealing with this guy for 5-10 minutes, you cancel, Uber's gonna think that you wasted this guy's time, so they're gonna charge you 100 pesos or 150 pesos. And I actually heard there's Uber drivers in Santo Domingo who literally do this on purpose. They just stand there until you cancel, and they rack up 150 pesos over and over and over and over again. And if you don't know, 150 pesos could easily be a ride out here in Santo Domingo. A lot of Dominicans do short rides. A lot of people don't walk out here, so they'll do a 10-minute drive, which might be 150 pesos. So this is really somebody's wage without even having to do anything. He just stands there and racks up the money. So that's actually the first thing that you want to do, is make sure you have a second device so you're not stuck in this crazy game of chicken with this guy. Second, what you want to do, and I used this method while I was here this time, and it worked really well, is so for this to work, they have to engage you, they have to write you, and they have to, you know, get you in kind of this bidding war or negotiation. So just to avoid that, just don't answer. So this is the first time I did that. I just didn't answer. Every time I seen those messages, and I'll put a video here as well, every time I seen those messages, I just let them sit there. And eventually the dude, both times I did it, he just came. He just said whatever, because I never engaged in a bidding war with him, so it was nothing to demand from me. And they've never done it in person. Actually, they did it one time in person. Again, a time where the ball is like, the advantage is in their court. It was after a party, and like after parties in DR, everybody's ordering an Uber, so he knows you're gonna be waiting. You probably waited 15 minutes for him. So one time a dude actually asked us to give him give us the money in cash. And he told us he'll cancel it when we got to the place, and he never canceled it because, of course, a group of drunk guys is in your car. They're probably gonna forget. But yeah, so the second way I want to say how you can avoid this problem is you want to not even engage in these conversations. Make sure that, you know, you check in to see if he's coming, but make sure you're not writing him. And then that way also worked for me. So that would be another one. And lastly, guys, I'm not gonna hold you guys here too long. The last way I would say is to use an alternative app. So out here, and this is a pro and con, out here InDriver is like the second best rideshare app. And it's basically an app where you, just like Uber, but you actually put the amount in. So let me tell you what's the problem. If you're not from DR, you don't know what price to put in. I guess you could go to Uber and get an estimate and use that same price you see if you're going from block A to block B in Uber, put that same price in InDriver, and that would kind of fix that problem. But or even if you wanted to, you could put it lower, because, you know, it's kind of a bidding system in itself. So the driver has to accept your offer. So that's the second. That's the third way to do it. But the problem with that way is InDriver is known not to be safe. I actually know at least one person. I can't remember the second person, but I know at least one person that was actually robbed with InDriver. So it's kind of like pick your poison. Uber is a much safer app, and like the security features on Uber are very good. I actually haven't heard of any like serious event happening, at least like in a foreign country. I know it happens a lot in the US, but like tourist based, I haven't heard anything like that. I'm sure it exists, but as far as like hardcore news like around the country, I don't think I've heard anything about that. But like I said, that's the third way. You want to make sure you try to get it on InDriver. I believe you might need to have a cedula, which is a Dominican ID, to get on there. I'm not sure if you actually download it in the DR. So make sure you download it before you get to the DR, wherever you're at, if you're in the States or Europe or wherever you're coming from. So look, guys, that's just 3 ways, because I know I got a lot of comments on that video I made about don't come to DR until you watch this. So look, I wanted to give you guys a heads up of the 3 things that I do to avoid that Uber scam. If you like this video, look, message me below, man. Let me know if this was helpful. If you're like, dang, it's gonna help me. Like when I get to DR, now I know how to kind of maneuver the Uber situation. If you like videos like this, I could make more, because look, I've been scammed 100 times. So the best way to avoid a scam is to talk to somebody who's been hit with those scams, so they know how to, you know, work with it. But I'm gonna leave it there, man. Remember, it's your boy Troy. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm out of here. I'll check in. I'll see you later. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a dude on YouTube. Peace out.